Hi guys, welcome back. Now, as you can see right from the start, this looks a little bit different from last week's video. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, is that I'm going to do things a little bit different. So what we're going to do is we'll start with a portfolio update every week, and then we'll get into some sort of stock market and investing news, and we'll see what's happening in the markets. But this week, to start off this sort of series, I'm going to show you how I do my sort of long-term investing research and try and research trends sort of thing for the future. But yeah, before we get into that, let's have a quick look at the portfolio. Now, if you remember from Friday's video, we was up around over 10%, if you can believe. And now this week, we're on Wednesday in the UK, 4 o'clock time. We're at 4.4%, so we've dropped quite a lot this week. There has been a lot of negativity, which I'm sure a lot of you will be aware of. Lots of YouTube videos pumping out, huge market crash, click on this video sort of crap. But, they're a business, they need people to click on their videos. But yeah, a lot of hysteria and stuff, and there's a lot of volatility around a few big sort of events that are coming up. And so there is going to be big movements in the market. But so I thought we'd start with AT&T because this is just crazy price. $26. I mean, down 30% in a year. And obviously when everything hit, the lowest point this year was 26.95, and we've just broken that now. So depending where this is going to stop falling, obviously you don't really want to catch a falling knife. You want to sort of see where this levels out and see if there's any support. This could possibly be a good buy, but the dividend yield, that's surely going to increase now because obviously the price has dropped. But they've got earnings this week coming out actually. I'm not sure when it is, but it'd be interesting to see what happens there. We've got Apple, 0.54%. Bear in mind, in the UK, this has only been open for like an hour and a half. It opens at 2:30 our time. So, but yeah, really this week it's been a sort of downward trend. Johnson & Johnson, the past week down 2.35%. What else have we got? Lemonade has been massively volatile, as we'd expect. Just get into the biggest holding. Tesla down nearly 7%. Now, some of that will be down to a lot of people speculating on, their earnings coming up this week. It's up today by 2%, so there's obviously been a little bit of a leak today. But just thought that'd be interesting just to highlight how volatile the sort of market can be. But yeah, right. What I thought we'd do is I'd explain how I sort of see and find future trends. Now, this isn't really anything new, and it's definitely not me using a crystal ball. You just go to really boring organisations like the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and they pretty much tell you what's going on. And these guys set world policy, so a lot of governments sign up to their sort of their policy basically. So everything you're going to hear, will revolve really around a green recovery, and sort of you will have heard certain leaders of whatever country you're in saying stuff like "build back better." Now these are all like slogans coming from these people. Now we try not. I'm a political atheist, and I don't really care about who's in control or who's in power. We just need to look at the facts basically, and you need to sort of look at it through not slanted view or partisan or anything. You just need to look at facts, the cold facts. And ultimately we're in this to make money, so we need to see where different policies are being formed. So obviously they want to build a green economy, and obviously then we've got the UN, which is the United Nations. Again, they have a policy called Agenda 2030. It was called Agenda 21, Agenda for the 21st Century, but they've changed this fairly recently, called Agenda 2030. So sustainable development basically. So this is all feeding into taking the world off, quote unquote dirty energy, like coal, gas, etc., and moving people towards greener sort of, again, quote unquote, sustainable sort of energy for the future. Now, that's all well and good, but how do we sort of invest in this? Now, what we need to do is find little trends that go on. So let me just close that. So it's sort of headlines like this what we need to start thinking about. So the world is now shutting down coal plants faster than it's opening, right? So coal, not part of the future plans. No one's going to get any grants to open coal. If anything, coal is going to practically disappear. And one of the downsides to coal disappearing, though, is, let's go look at places what have actually enforced this policy already. So California was a very, very good example. California has had been suffering blackouts because their sort of leader over there has, completely rejected coal and was trying to run the state just entirely on green energy. But what happens is when you do this too early, you do get blackouts. So what happens is you get blackouts, and obviously this is something that certain companies are prepared for. Now, as you can see here, this is a story from the UK, which National Grid, which is the sort of company that owns the full infrastructure of the power grid. National Grid fires up coal power station for the first time in 55 days. And it was basically because there was no wind, essentially. And we've closed that many coal and power stations that we can't meet demand. If we look on GridWatch here in the UK, there's currently only 9 coal power stations in the UK, and the current government's plan is to shut down all coal power stations by 2025. Now, you can imagine that's not that far away. So, what companies are going to capitalise from this? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of wind and solar companies and things like that. So that's, just find good, strong companies in that sort of sector. But also, one that a lot of people don't realise, Tesla make a lot of money off government sort of subsidies. And, bear in mind what the sort of trend is to do with electric cars and stuff like that. There is going to be so much more demand on the, on the grid. The grid of this country, the grid of your country, they're not actually geared up for this. Electric cars use huge amounts of energy. It's not like charging your laptop or anything. You're talking about replacing, putting a full petrol tank worth of energy in a vehicle. So the demand is going to, massively outstrip the supply. And, Tesla is, if you go on their website, they have their Powerwall. And if I can get this website to stop. So their Powerwall, it's a big battery. So you'll have solar panels on the roof, you'll have a big battery. And what it will do is, it says, detect outages and automatically become your home's energy source when the grid goes down. Now, if we read this, use stored energy to power your home during an outage. And obviously, you can recharge your cars and all sorts like that. So, to me, whether we like it or not, it's irrelevant, because this stuff is actually coming. Whether you've got an opinion on it, it doesn't really matter. It's more about, we need to look at this strategically and figure out which of these companies are going to be at the front. And obviously, I think we all know, sort of with Tesla, that they're not going anywhere anytime soon, and their business model is all about scaling. So that's why, it's one of the reasons I definitely believe in this company for the future, because it's not just consumer money, it's money coming from big governments and stuff feeding into the green economy. So I just thought that'd be interesting this week to just give you a bit of an insight into sort of how you can sort of spot future trends, and you can also start to look for these trends yourself as well, because it's not that complicated. It's not rocket science. Right, that'll just about wrap it up for this week, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Give us a comment below, so let me know what you think of this new format. And yeah, I'll see you all next week.